Tom and Sarah were chilling at home on a stormy night when hunger struck. They decided to order a pizza, thinking it would be a tasty treat. Little did they know, their night was about to take a spooky turn. They called up the pizzeria and eagerly waited for their delivery. The rain was pouring outside, adding an extra layer of spookiness to the atmosphere. Suddenly, the doorbell rang, and Sarah jumped up to answer it. But when she looked through the peephole, she let out a scream. There, standing on their porch, was a seriously creepy-looking creature holding a pizza box. Its appearance was straight out of a horror movie, with pale skin, wild hair, and a twisted grin. Sarah quickly called out to Tom, who hurried to the door to see what had spooked her. They were both freaked out by the sight and decided it was best not to open the door just yet. Sarah suggested they call the pizzeria to make sure this was for real. With trembling hands, they dialed the pizzeria's number. To their surprise, the voice on the other end confirmed that their order was indeed on the way. But something felt off. They had a sinking feeling in their guts that this wasn't your ordinary delivery person. Fear gnawed at them, and they realized they had to get help. They called the police, explaining the weird situation, hoping they would come to the rescue. Meanwhile, the creepy creature outside was getting restless, pounding on the door like a madman. Finally, the police arrived, their sirens wailing through the stormy night. Tom and Sarah felt a glimmer of hope as they rushed to the window, peering out at the approaching patrol cars. The officers wasted no time, cautiously making their way toward the house. One officer stepped up to the porch, asking the creature who it was and what the heck was going on. But instead of answering, the creature let out a blood-curdling scream and lunged at the officers. It was like a scene from a horror flick. The police fought back, but this creature was no joke. Its super strength gave it the upper hand. As the chaos unfolded, Tom and Sarah knew they had to escape. They made a split-second decision and ran to the back of the house. With a burst of adrenaline, they flung open a window and climbed out into the pouring rain. Their hearts were racing as they ran through the wet streets, trying to put as much distance as possible between them and the creature. They knew they had to reach the police station for help. Soaking wet and panting for breath, they finally arrived, bursting through the doors with fear etched on their faces. The officers inside were shocked to see them in such a state, but Tom and Sarah quickly explained what had happened. The police sprang into action, guns at the ready. They knew they had to protect themselves and the community from this terrifying creature. As luck would have it, the creature followed Tom and Sarah all the way to the police station, smashing through the entrance. But the police were prepared. They fired their weapons, taking down the creature with a barrage of bullets. The nightmare was finally over. Tom and Sarah breathed a sigh of relief, grateful to be safe. They couldn't believe what they had just been through. Their house had become a creepy battleground, but they had made it out alive. After that super scary run-in with the pizza delivery demon, Tom and Sarah couldn't shake off the freaking fear that had taken hold of them. The idea of sticking around in the house became totally unbearable, 'cause it felt like the nightmare was still lurking in every darn corner. They decided to sell the house, thinking that if they left it behind, they could find some peace and escape from the constant reminders of the terrifying stuff that went down in there. Together, they got in touch with a real estate agent and explained how urgently they needed to sell the place. The agent understood and promised to do their best to find a buyer who would appreciate the house. Tom and Sarah started packing up their stuff, trying to disconnect from the memories that haunted them. With every item they boxed up, it felt like a weight was lifted off their shoulders, a small step toward getting rid of their fear. One night, while Tom and Sarah were busy packing their stuff, they heard the doorbell ring, making them jump like scaredy cats. It was that same sound that always gave them the creeps. "Tom, feeling a mix of nerves and curiosity, walked up to the door, his hand shaking as he grabbed the doorknob. He took a big gulp of courage, bracing himself for whatever was waiting on the other side. He opened the door, but just a crack, 'cause he wasn't about to let any weirdo in. And there, standing in front of him, was the pizza delivery demon, all dressed up in a fancy suit, grinning like a maniac. With a tinge of fear, Tom mustered the courage to ask, "What the heck do you want from us?" The demon's eyes sparkled with this creepy light, and in a strange voice, he said,
"I want to buy your house, Tom."
Sarah, who sensed trouble brewing, came closer and asked, "Why in the world would you want to buy our house?" The demon's grin grew wider, showing off his freakishly sharp teeth as he replied,
"Okay, you can keep the house, but your souls will be mine."
The demon let out a wicked laugh that sent chills down Tom and Sarah's spines. He smashed the door into pieces, barging inside the house without mercy. This time, luck wasn't on Tom and Sarah's side. The demon swiftly attacked, ending their lives in a cruel and tragic manner. Their bones lay scattered across the room, a grim and sorrowful sight. No one heard their desperate cries for help, and their struggle was in vain against the demon's overpowering strength. It was a horrifying ending that no one could have predicted. The demon relished his victory, reveling in the fear and despair that lingered in the air.